Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Married to Sports podcast. With me, as always, I have Corey and the Diabolical One. It is Wednesday. Good morning, Coach Bacon. How y'all doing?
Doing good.
I'm good.
We are awesome.
Are you
All right.
sure you're awesome there, Coach Bacon?
Hey, being awesome's a choice. No matter how you feel, it doesn't matter.
All right. Yeah. So it's been a good it was a good weekend for you, Coach.
It wasn't bad. I mean, just living in the excitement of it all. We were 3 wins away from seeing Wiener Circle have to give out free hot dogs at a parade. So I am not excited about the Rams coming to town, though.
No, why not?
I mean, they're a formidable opponent. But we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Got to play the game though, right? Anything can happen.
Yeah. I was reading a thing like warm weather teams are 0 and like 18 or something. I forget the number. It's like 0 and 18 or 16 in games where the feels like is below 10
Yeah.
in the playoffs in the last like 15 years.
Well, that's what the Rams lost last year in Philly, and it was cold.
Yeah. It was. Devontae's hamstring's not going to feel good, so we'll see. Just got to wait and see. The Bears got a little banged up though. Lost our left tackle, lost the starting linebackers. We will see. But more importantly, it's like I'm living over here on cloud nine, and Dio's probably just wondering what's next for the steel curtain.
No, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. I'm sad about it. I am because I love Mike Tomlin. I love Cowher. I remember Chuck Noll, and
Yeah.
I grew up with three coaches. You know what I mean? And yeah, you can't win every year because that's always been my mentality. When I played sports, I played to win. But it's just not going to always happen for you. You're not always going to be first place. You're not. And with this being the loss that they took the other night, the way they took it, the way that fourth quarter just imploded, you know, I said, in that game, I said, I think he retires tomorrow, or resigns, and he did. And Corey, blew my phone up, sent me the text, and I was like, yeah, well, there it is, And I was sad. I was sad because to me it felt like a family member leaving. That's how I felt about Tomlin. I never wanted his job. What I say at the beginning of the season when you first met me, I mean, Bacon, you didn't know me, but I told Brandon and Corey, I don't watch the preseason because in Tomlin I trust. That's what I would say. I always just felt that he was going to do the best job of what he had on the field, and that's we were going to see where it went. Well, Brandon had more hopes than I did for this season. We ended up winning that division and going to the playoffs, but that fourth quarter just
It was ugly.
It was ugly, and I just and there's so many things I've been looking at from that because my fear was, because I talked to Corey about this yesterday. My fear was, I asked Corey, I said, where was Tomlin from again? And he said Virginia, and I was like, shit, Baltimore's not far from there, far from home, and I was worried about him going to Baltimore or Cleveland, because they have two job openings. But I was reading that it's unlikely that he's going to coach in 26, which tells me the organization, the Steelers, may have told him, hey, here's half of your contract severance. Like, we're going to go ahead and give you half of what you would have made, but you are not going to coach in 26. You know what I mean? They're going to let him get a year if he wants to go recharge himself, come back and coach. I don't know if that's a fact, but it just seems like that's the feel, because I don't think they want to do him like Harbaugh was done by Baltimore, because I felt Harbaugh shouldn't have been pushed out the door the way he was. Now, some people say he may have pushed back on what they were offering him to resign, and they just said, all right, get the hell out, which is possible. But I've always viewed the Ravens and the Steelers organizations as almost brothers, symbiotic, the way they were ran, the way they kept the coach. Year in and year out, they didn't make changes. I mean, they would change coordinators and stuff, but other than that, they maintained and it was sustainable. Because they almost have identical. If it wasn't the Steelers winning the division, it was the Ravens. Every once in a while, the Bengals would pop up there, but not much. So I would love to see Harbaugh come to Pittsburgh. I don't know if he will, but that would be my number one candidate. I would take Harbaugh in a heartbeat because there's really not any coaches out there right now that I'm going, ooh, I'll take him. No, Harbaugh would
Who
be the
guys?
guy.
I saw them talk about somebody the other day. Oh, Brian Flores is who was like they kept just like
See, but here's the thing: as Pittsburgh fans, we know we're going to keep that coach, and that's what bothers me about some of these coaches. Where I'm sitting there
right.
going, oh, if we hire that guy, are you going to give him 10 years? Because that might be 10 years of just, holy shit, what have you done to us? You know what I mean? At least Tomlin sustained or maintained what Cower and Knoll had left.
Right.
That's the key, sustainability. Keep it afloat, rebuild, retool. I'm good with that. I'm good with the next 2 years of them going through the draft. I mean, if we only win 5 or 6 games next year, so be it. We get those draft picks. We start building that team. Find a quarterback that's not Ben Roethlisberger. You're not going to find him. Stop looking for him. You're going to have to find a quarterback, and you're going to have to implement a system for that quarterback. You can't
Yep.
keep doing this. And I mean, Mason Rudolph. Let's just go down the list. I mean, they've tried and tried and tried to get these quarterbacks, and now they're going out hiring a hired gun like Aaron Rodgers. I never wanted him. I mean, I could give two shits about that guy. I don't care if he would have won the Super Bowl
Yeah.
this year. I still wouldn't like him. He's not a Steeler. He's just not. But
Right.
that's my take on the whole Steelers thing. I'm gonna miss Tomlin. I wish him on his best. I wish him the best. On his future endeavors if he goes into broadcasting or if he goes and coaches again.
Yeah.
I could see him maybe going to Vegas. I mean
Yeah.
I mean a lot of people say Atlanta, and I'm just like, why would you want to go to Atlanta? That is a Jerry Jones 2.0 ran team. But at least the Cowboys do something. Atlanta, no. That well, I'm biased. I hate that city. But
I would
anyway,
say Tomlin is my DC. Let me get Tomlin as my DC.
that's possible. I mean, he may say, hey, I might want to go back to a coordinator for a couple of years, recharge myself, and then take another run at it. But I want Harbaugh in Pittsburgh. He's at New York today interviewing with the Giants.
Yep.
I'm hoping the Steelers give him a call. Maybe there's something there. That would be my number one pick is Harbaugh.
Well, I think you're actually going to get that because I seen the interview with the GM or the owner or whoever it was after Tomlin stepped down, and he's a really bad actor, and basically said if Harbaugh goes to Pittsburgh, they're going to take Tomlin. So I think we actually might see that switcheroo. I think that was what was in the works. I think that was the extra deal. We talked about it. I don't know whatever day that was.
You mean Tomlin goes to where? Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean it's close to home. That's why I asked Corey. I was like, "Where was he from again?" And he said he played at William and Mary, and he's from Virginia. And I'm like, "Well, shit, that's close to Baltimore." And I mean, look, Parcells came and coached the Cowboys after he was a coach for the Giants all those years, so it's not unheard of.
Yeah.
Mike Ditka went and coached the Saints, even though I know it's not the NFC North, but he still stayed in the NFC after he left the Bears, but coaches have done it. I mean, it's not the first time. And look, maybe that's what each of those teams need to get the North back into competitiveness in the league because, damn, they started looking like the AFC East about 10 years ago where it was just the Patriots at top and everybody else was garbage.
They've started to look like the NFC North from 6 years ago, right? Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and it's just, and that's unfortunate because they are like the Steelers are blue bloods, like, and the Ravens not kind of, but they've built themselves into it. I agree with you, Dio. I think that like the Harbaugh thing is way worse. And then the interview with the GM where he's like, "Oh, Tomlin," the reporter says, "Oh, Tomlin's stepping down," and they ask him, if Harbaugh would have won, would he still be the coach? And he just kind of like very sarcastically is just like, for one more week, you know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see here years from now what was going on in that building, you know.
Well, I mean, there was the reports of Lamar Jackson, Monk, and a few other players that were out. They were outspoken about Harbaugh, like they wanted him gone. So
Yeah.
the mutiny was there after that game.
I called it before
And
the season.
well, you know, and I absolutely see your side of it, Brandon. But being a Steelers fan and watching the rival, I always viewed the Ravens as the number one enemy in the AFC North. The Browns and Bengals, they're the Brownies and the Bungles most of the time. They can sneak up and make you split a series with them. They'll bite you in the ass sometimes. But the Ravens Steeler games, they're brutal. And
Right.
I always viewed you had a coach there for 19 years to just step down. You had a coach for 18 years to just step down. And
Fire.
you got to understand that even though I don't like the Ravens, I respect their organization and they look a lot like ours. And so I didn't like the way they did Harbaugh. They should have given him a door number 3 with whatever it was.
They should have
Don't
done what
fire.
they did with Tomlin and gave him the ultimatum: "Hey, you win or you step down." Gave him your severance pay, whatever. I think that's exactly what happened. I think it was a backdoor conversation
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
and the GM or whoever it was, he didn't. There was no surprise really in his voice. He knew it was coming. So that was
Yeah.
that told me, and we talked about it on the last podcast where the source coming from Adam Schefter said that one more team was talking to John Harbaugh that still had a coach. That
Well,
was
that could have been Green Bay too.
they're sticking with LaFleur. I do think it's Tomlin, and
Well, look,
Harbaugh was easy to see when you have a unanimous MVP. You lose at the house in the AFC Championship game, and granted, I know it was more on Mark Andrews. Like he catches that ball 9 out of 10 times, and they win that game. Isaiah Likely a toe in the end, toe on the line. They win that game. It was unfortunate events that absolutely may not have been on Harbaugh. Like those are unfortunate events that were not on Harbaugh. Some of the coaching decisions, time management decisions along the way, really made it clear that when you had a two-time unanimous MVP, it was Super Bowl or bust. You fell short.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did you fall short of the Super Bowl, but you fell short of the playoffs.
I agree with that. Do you think the owner was paying Loop to miss that kick?
No, he straight jacked it. He knew he did too. The body language and everything, you could tell
Well,
he knew he messed up.
what year were you born,
Who
Brandon?
was it? I saw a former player talking about how there's chips in the balls.
Brandon, what year were you born?
88.
All right, Corey. I got to
Yes,
ask Corey
sir.
this. We're both Cowboys. Do you think Tom Landry should have been fired?
I'll tell you this: when that happened, I was pissed, and I mean pissed. Wasn't so much that he was, that he wasn't the coach anymore. I didn't like the way Jerry Jones did it.
Mm-hmm.
He
I'm
should have
with you
been
on that.
allowed. He should have been allowed to retire
Yep.
because the man started that franchise. He was the coach from day one on that franchise,
Yes.
and then to go turn around and do it the sneaky way that he was doing it,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just coming out and saying, he comes
They
out and says,
backdoor
"Oh,
betted him.
I love Tom Landry," and
Yeah.
the next thing you know, Tom Landry's fired, and he didn't even tell Tom Landry himself. The media told him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
mean,
part.
this was in 1989, and that's kind of where I felt about the Harbaugh with the Ravens. I get it. I get everything you're saying, Brandon, but I have to go back and go. I've seen this story before. Tom Landry.
no. So I don't agree with the way Harbaugh got fired. I don't think that I think he should have got a Tomlin deal. I 100% agree that he should have got a Tomlin deal. Hey, you didn't make it. I need you to resign. like here's half of what we owe you, or here's all of what we owe you. Just make it quiet. You know what I mean? Go peacefully, do your deal. Tom Landry honestly should have got that respect. I had to do the research. Obviously, didn't
Hey, no.
didn't watch it.
I wasn't trying to get you.
Well, no,
That's
no,
why
I
I asked
know,
what
but
year
I
you
did
won.
have to do the research, and like you can
Yeah,
see in the stats where
yeah.
Tom
It
Landry had
declined.
fallen off. Like he had lost his fastball, and it was time to go. Now Jerry Jones was a complete butthole and had absolutely no right to do to
Hey,
Tom Landry the way he did him. That was
guess who else they
absolutely
did it to?
100% dirty.
Bobby Bowden. Bobby Bowden at Florida State.
That
They
was
screwed
dirty.
him off the sideline. That's why I have pushback, not with you, but it's like I said, I agree with what you're saying. I get the decline, but there needs the other side needs to say, hey,
Yeah,
we gotta stop. We gotta get you from in front of yourself. You can't see what you're doing, but we can, and we need to. Look, we gotta go separate ways. Let's
right.
figure this out. Let's finish the season, but let's go ahead and prepare that you're not going to be the coach next year. They could have had that conversation 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Pitts,
Well,
Whatever.
Pittsburgh more than
coaches.
likely handled that perfectly.
Yeah. Coaches are, the thing is we sit there as fans and we say, there's no loyalty, and there isn't. And but you know what, the NFL anymore and college, it's a business. And most of us in our professions, would, even no matter how long we're there, we don't get the courtesy of, hey, you can retire. Hey, we're done using you. See ya.
Right.
And
Well, I mean, and you don't give them the courtesy of like, hey, here's the 6 jobs I applied for in the last 10 days.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, it's the communication and stuff. And I mean, these coaches like Bowden, a Landry, a Harbaugh, a Tomlin, you know, these coaches gave every ounce of their energy and stuff, not just for a couple years. We're talking almost 20 plus, and some of them were over 20 plus, obviously, years. There's something, as a human being, you should, number one, be, hey, thank you. I know we're going in a different way, but thank you. But I'm not going to make you look bad going out the door.
Yeah.
I think, Corey, that's like the wild thing to look at social media now is like how many people just don't like the lack of care people have for that.
Yeah,
Right? Like you want to see the demise of sport when like when people are dog cussing Harbaugh on his way out, even though man, like dude, they won when he was there, right? And I'm sure there's some naysayers in Steeler land, not as many as in Baltimore, but like you can't. We live in a time where it's just really hard to tip your hat, say well done,
yeah,
and then just leave it at that too.
yeah,
It's not always what's wrong with this pitcher instead of showing somebody and saying, hey, tell me what's right with this pitcher.
yeah,
Because
Right.
and people are like, what do you mean? I said, there's actually good things going on in this pitcher, but you're looking for the negative. We automatically go to the negative.
yep,
And they used to piss me off when I would hand certain stuff to some people and say, I want you to tell me when we did debriefings. And I'd say, what, tell me what went right here, And they'd automatically say, well, we didn't cover that excess. I'm like, oh, here we go. Already looking for the negative. I asked you what we did right,
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
yeah. And that's
We can agree that the Super Bowl is one of the hardest things to achieve in life, right?
Absolutely.
Like
yes,
12 teams are still searching for their first Super Bowl ring.
Yep.
The script hasn't allowed it yet.
Well, here's the thing. I think the Bills are going to get their first this year. According to the script.
Ooh.
According to the script.
I have them going to the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
It's Bills Rams Super Bowl.
That's exactly what I have.
I hate to say it, but this is Josh Allen's year because Mahomes isn't in the way. Aaron Rodgers isn't there.
Yep.
I
Lamar
mean,
Jackson.
Lamar Jackson's out. I mean, anybody that was in his way is gone.
Now listen, Houston might have a chance against Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but
We're
they
gonna
gotta
make it
they gotta
uncomfortable for
They
Josh
got to
Allen.
get through. They got to get through Patriots first.
I'm not. That's
I think Buffalo goes to Denver because I think Denver's going to come out rusty.
oh
I
yeah,
do.
I agree. I have Denver getting bounced.
And that's what I see with Seattle too.
Yep.
The other night I said Seattle and Buffalo, but nothing against your Bears. But I don't. I just think Stafford's going to pull off his Stafford magic, and they're going to bump the Bears out. I know.
I don't like it. I don't like what you're saying.
I know you don't, but
The Rams are tough matchup though
yeah,
with Puka and Devontae.
you just can't count out Stafford
What
because the
day
other
is
day
that
I
game?
called it. I told the guys the other day that I streamed all the games over the weekend. I did 13 and a half hours on Sunday, and I did 9.5 on Saturday. And when we watched that Rams game, I said Stafford's going to do a 2-minute drive down the field, game over, and he did. And I'm like, damn it, you know.
Well, I was vehemently rooting for the Eagles to find a way to win because I much rather would have played the freaking
Oh,
Eagles
absolutely,
than
absolutely.
Stafford.
Well, the
You
Eagles
know,
might have been able to move on if their wide receiver hadn't checked out of the game.
Yep, I think he's going to be a Saint next year. I think he's going to play with Kellen Moore in New Orleans.
That would be sweet for him.
I think that's what's going to happen.
him and Olave together wouldn't be a bad deal.
And that
No.
that kid, that Tyler Show down there, man, and Kellen Moore, look out. Saints might be competing for the NFC South next year.
Now, Rod had a crazy take at the beginning of the year, talking about the trade deadline. Well, he might
Yep.
be onto something with Jay Jettis to the Saints now. If they get AJ
Uh,
Brown,
we talked about that the other day, but the Vikings aren't going to move Justin Jefferson for the fact that they still have their blinders on with JJ McCarthy, and that's going to be their demise, and that's going to be the coach's demise, and he won't be the coach next year after that season. JJ McCarthy will probably be floating as a backup somewhere, and the Vikings are going to disband then. But I think this upcoming season, I think AJ Brown, he won't be an Eagle. He wore his last Eagle uniform the
yeah,
other
that's
day.
done.
I think he's going to end up. I think Kellen Moore is going to reach out to him and say, "Hey, I got a spot for you down here. We're making moves."
The only other one that would make sense is Mike Vrabel, where they
Mhm.
moved off of him earlier. And I don't know if that was the GM's call or if that was Vrabel's call.
No, that was the GM's call. Vrabel was pissed.
Yeah.
Vrabel was livid when he
I
found out.
couldn't
He didn't
remember.
even know. He found out through social media that AJ Brown was traded.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that now.
He was pissed. My younger brother was blowing up. He's
Yeah.
a Titans fan.
So, yeah, that even makes that point even more. So it's going to be New England or Kellen Moore. He'd probably want to go to New England.
You got to look at what New England's capable of doing right now. We got to look at their cap space and all that. I think the Saints are more fun to play with.
Doesn't New England have the most cap space? Or one of the top?
I'd have to look it up, but I don't see how.
They're not paying anybody.
Yeah.
Defense.
I don't know. But it's funny because you sit there, you talk about AJ Brown, and the two places we keep talking about is New Orleans, New England. He's gonna get his new chance somewhere.
Yeah, they still got $46 million to play with.
They're not going to give it. They're not going to give it to AJ Brown though.
Not 46
He's older.
million.
He's older, and he comes with baggage.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's not even when you look at AJ Brown, can you say it's his baggage or can you say it's his situational baggage? I mean, reading a book on the sidelines, obviously, you should know you're going to get rammed for that one. But
Yeah, but he's done it for years.
yeah,
I mean, whatever it is,
New England's top four.
you know,
The Chargers, the
No.
Raiders, and the Titans are ahead of them.
well,
I got the Jets at 89 million,
New
the Rams
England's-
at 81.
New England's at 10, man.
What?
Yeah, the Steelers at 65.
Or the Saints. The
Nice.
Saints are underwater.
Yeah.
Kansas City, Minnesota, Dallas, New Orleans, Miami, Green Bay, Cleveland are all underwater in cap space.
Dallas underwater. If that isn't, that's like every year.
Yeah. Well, you got to figure JJ or Justin Jefferson's getting a lot of that in Minnesota, and you got Kansas City sitting there at minus $49 million.
Travis Kelsey and Chris Jones.
Yep.
They weren't worth it.
See, Pittsburgh's sitting at number 9. Man, they've got 65 million to play with.
Yeah.
Do not give it to veterans. Don't give it.
Don't give it
Did
to
you
your
mention
offensive
AJ
coordinator
Brown,
either.
DK Metcalf?
Ooh.
If you're gonna go with a Mason Rudolph and Will Howard backup scenario next year, and you're gonna build through the draft, fuck it. Just go ahead and run it. Don't keep him. Try to see if you can trade him. Get something for him. He may even say, "Hey, I want off the ride because I've only been here a year."
And
know.
Rodgers is gone.
Please don't bring Rodgers back.
No, but I'm saying
Honestly,
Rodgers is
yeah.
gone.
Sorry,
What?
Corey.
No, I'm just saying Rodgers. More than likely, I'm pretty sure Rodgers is going to retire, especially with Tomlin out.
Mhm.
I think DK, especially if they try to ride with Howard or Rudolph, DK's going to be like, okay, can you please trade me?
Yeah, he's not going to make his bonuses or anything else.
I'm not saying trade DK, get a couple picks, whatever, probably second round, third round, maybe a second and third round.
Probably a fourth.
Well, they're already talking about getting another quarterback, and I'm like, holy shit! What are we doing again? What are we doing?
We don't
You
trust
drafted
Will
Will Howard. I don't know. I want to call the office and go, what do y'all do with Will Howard? Is he not ever going to play? Because honestly, it almost makes me think he's a Kyle Trask. They drafted him out of Florida to Tampa Bay. They ended up just cutting him. Years later, they're like, yeah, Tom Brady played down there. Then Baker came. They got rid of Kyle Trask.
Go
They
get
said,
Stewart.
There's that
No.
smile. Brandon's like, yep.
no.
Oh my gosh. Hey, how about so the whole AJ Brown thing. What about this? What about Las Vegas? They've got 98 million. They can afford him. They lack that possession guy. The Tucker kid's really good.
You got Bowers.
Thornton kid's a slot kid.
Yeah, you got Bowers.
You've got Genty. You've got Bowers. You've got the Meyer
You're
kid.
probably going to have Mendoza.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No.
No taxes.
Yeah,
what?
Saints can't afford him. Saints are underwater. They can't afford him. And I'm trying to figure out who are they still paying.
They paid Taysom Hill.
I'm sure Kamara's getting a lot of it too.
Olave's
Yeah, they
getting
paid
a chunk.
Kamara.
If I'm not mistaken, Olave's getting a chunk of that money. Kamara.
Unless they've got money still going to Carr.
I'm
That
sure
might
they
be
probably
true,
have
too.
some.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Good one there, Bacon. I forgot about
Because
Carr.
that would be my only. Because he got hurt, so I think he has a loophole in there.
And he retired. So if you retire,
That's crazy.
I'm pretty
Of
sure
all the
the team's still on team on the loop for it.
That is one team I would not have put there. Going, oh, they're going to be upside down. Oh shit, the Saints are. They suck and they're underwater. It's usually the opposite. You suck and you're
Cameron
sitting on a
Jordan's
pile of
eating up a
caps.
lot. He's
I'm about to say, how long is-
6.75% of the cap.
Yeah, I knew Cam Jordan was going to be big.
Marshawn Lattimore's eating up 5.25% of their cap space.
And he's not even there.
Ryan Ramchek's eating up 5%. Yeah.
That is a bad GM right there. That is a bad GM.
Kamara's only at 3.6% of their cap space, which for
No, he
what
didn't
they've had
play
to do
either,
to
so-
keep him around is
That's
Taysom Hill's at. Oh, I'm going to keep going now. We're going to keep going. Jameis Winston's got 2% of their cap space this year.
What? He's not even on their team.
Yep.
That's a terrible GM. I'm telling you, man, that's a terrible
Hey,
GM.
no, wait. You'll like this one better. Michael Thomas is 6.3% of their cap space this year.
Oh, dead money.
Dead money all over their books.
Ouch. Michael Thomas, I forgot about him.
That's a
Yeah.
terrible. That is a terrible GM.
They gave him a big contract and he was hurt most of it.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Hey,
You-
Kellen Moore should be put up for Coach of the Year.
Jeez.
No crap.
That ain't no kidding.
Seriously, man. Seriously. Dude, if they win the NFC North next year and they're still underwater, I'm gonna be like Kellen Moore's Coach of the Year. I don't give a shit what they do in the playoffs.
Hey,
Talk about being handcuffed.
Speaking of former Cowboys coaches, there's the answer for the Steelers. Jason Garrett.
No,
Oh,
Stop it. Stop it.
no.
Mike
You don't turn
McCarthy
your
before
camera
that.
off and walk away and say that.
I'm not wishing that
Hey.
on my worst enemy.
Put your little beady eyes back on the camera and say it.
Jason Garrett.
Hold on, let me turn my. All right, now look me in the eyes and say it.
Jason Garrett.
Why would you do that?
No,
Well, he's loyal and he can take a beating. So
I'd have Rodney
Hey.
come meet you, but you're bacon, not pork.
it's that's Jason 8 Garrett.
Hey, speaking of being loyal and taking a beating, Bob Stoops. Bob Stoops would be a great fit up there in Pittsburgh.
Hey,
I
What?
think he's retired though.
even
He
Derek,
left
even
his-
Derek just said it. Derek just said it. No. See, kid knows his stuff, man.
Yeah, I don't like.
it'll be. I think the interesting part of this whole cycle is that there's not like last year is like Ben Johnson's the guy, right? Liam Cohen's like a good candidate. Kellen Moore is a good candidate. Right now, it's like, okay, so what? You want to give Robert Saleh another chance? Like, you want to give
Hey, you know
Brian
what? Hey,
Flores another
you know what? Salah, I would not be opposed to Salah.
Yeah.
Brandon, you remember you and I got into it over Robert Salah because I said Aaron Rodgers got him out the door in New York, which I thought was crap. I thought Salah was doing a good job with what he had.
Yeah, I mean, no, you can't judge anybody on the Jets situation.
No, and he is working well with, San Francisco. They're making it work.
Yeah.
I mean, he's bought in. He's doing his job. I mean, you look at all the injuries they went through this year on offense. I mean, the guy's doing it. I mean, and you know what? That may be a Pittsburgh guy. He might.
I do think
I
Saleh
mean-
is a good coach. I said that the receivers got Saleh fired because they were dropping all
Well,
the balls.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers went up there and he threw his damn.
No, I get all that too, but
into it.
44 drops in a year is pretty bad,
It is.
and that'll
It
get a lot
is,
of
but-
coaches fired.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I wouldn't be opposed to Salah if Harbaugh goes to New York or he goes to Miami. Okay, that ship sailed.
Saleh would be a
wouldn't
good
mind
fit.
Salah.
Good defensive coach. You guys like defensive head coaches? I think that'd be a good fit in Pittsburgh.
He
All right.
He better find the right damn OC, man. Jesus. We went from Canada to Arthur Smith, and
Yeah, that's terrible. But go get that kid, Shula.
Charlie Weiss Jr.
it's not bad.
Don't hate it.
I mean,
This
because
is what the
what's the
Steelers need
guy's
to do. This is what the Steelers have needed to do. Corey was on live a lot last night, and this is what I said about what we've been doing the past 15 years. We've been slapping duct tape and Band-Aids and wind tape and everything else on that team, trying to just find a quarterback to lead them, Can't do it. And it's just been declining. The plane has been getting closer to the ground, and it finally crashed. Instead of bringing it down to rebuild it, which is what they should have done. They should have done this 8 years ago, saying, all right, hey, let's rebuild. Let's go back to the draft. We're gonna take a couple losing seasons maybe, and we'll come back. And instead, they stayed afloat, with a
Right.
winning season every year,
That's
which is
exactly.
unheard of. And it's great. But now we're to the point of this is a rerun. It's a rerun. It's a rerun. Oh my God, it's a rerun.
That's why I think you
I don't
trade
want
DK, get a whatever you can get out of him, break it down to bare nothing, and let Howard roll
to.
out.
If I
What's
feel
the
they,
most
yeah,
what
go ahead.
What's the most attractive opening, right? Like if you guys were sitting there, what do you feel like the most attractive
New
opening
York.
is?
What are you talking about? Hold on. If I was a coach and I saw the openings that are out there right now, I could go New York. They might keep me 4 years. Miami, they might keep me 4 years. Baltimore, well, they should keep me multiple years, but they did screw over a guy for 18 years. And then I'd look at Pittsburgh and go, hey, I might be guaranteed 10 years there. That's security.
Brandon, what about for
For
you?
me, it's the Giants. Miami is really enticing, but for me, it's the Giants. I have my quarterback. I have my running back. I have defensive pieces that are young. I have a lot of space to be moved. I need a little help on my back end, but I have a very bright offense, and I have the New York media.
Are they going to play for you when the quarterback or running back goes down?
Hell no, but when they're eating out of the palm of my hand because I'm bringing championships because I'm like that, hell no.
Jackson Dart is not going to
Hey,
last in the
listen, man, you ain't
NFL.
got to worry about job security when you just win, baby, win.
Jackson Dart is not going to last, and what I mean by that is it's not based on his talent. It's based on his body. He is a plastic quarterback. He's a
I do it
plastic
with a
quarterback.
bum.
I'm telling you, he's a plastic quarterback.
I believe in me. I'll do it with a bum.
Do you? All right,
I'm
Jackson. All
going.
right, let's look at something real quick. Jackson Dart, RG3, college. Who you taking?
RG3 in college.
Okay, they are built almost identical.
I wouldn't think he.
RG3 is no longer playing football because Shanahan ran him through the grinder.
Right. Jackson Dart's got an arm.
Which he needed to do. It's he had to do it to win.
I'm telling you, Jackson
I'm going to
Dart is.
Vegas.
That's
Corey, you're going to Vegas? Why are you going to
I'm
Vegas?
going to Vegas
I don't know, man. They don't
because
seem to
I
still
can
know what
I
they're
can
doing
build
there.
my team. I can build my team the way I want it. I've already got the running back. I got the tight end. I've got some couple decent pieces on the line, couple decent pieces on the defense.
Do you want to be under Tom Brady's thumb though? Because he seems to be the one making all the decisions for that organization.
yeah. With that beautiful jawline, I'll be under whatever he wants.
Yep.
Come on.
Hold on, he seems to be though, even though he's the minority owner. I think he was behind the Chip Kelly firing. I believe he was behind the Pete Carroll firing. And I'm not look. Tom Brady's the goat, right?
And he's wrong for
But I
that?
don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I want to work under Tom Brady because he
No,
might look you in the eye one day and stab you in the back the next. That's kind of
no.
the feeling I'm getting from him
Is he
as
going
an
to coach
owner.
me?
Okay,
That's my thing. Is you know what?
it almost feels like a young Jerry Jones in the making.
Oh damn!
He's got his fingerprints all over stuff, even though he's minority owner.
But the difference is he's actually played in the games that won Super Bowls.
Yeah, Jerry
Yeah,
never even
but
sniffed it.
He's won more
I
Super
no no
Bowls than
no.
Yeah,
I,
Brady.
there's a
I
there's
understand
a
that, but this look. All right, let's separate Tom Brady here for a second. You got Tom Brady on the field, and you got Tom Brady off the field. The Tom Brady off the field is what I see on TV, and I don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't like it. I think he's kind of a dick, honestly. Even as a commentator, I'm like, I don't like him as a commentator either.
Me personally,
yeah.
I respect the hell out of him as a quarterback. I'll call him the GOAT, okay? But I don't like the off the field Tom Brady.
I think yeah, I agree with you there. That's an interesting dynamic over there in Vegas because not only is it tough, right, like to do what we do or do what they do in the league, but also you look at that division and you're like, oh crap, Bo Nix is young. Oh crap, Patrick Mahomes probably still has 5 to 7 good years
Yep.
left. Oh crap, Herbert's probably got 5 to 7 years left.
Well, if he stays upright.
Right, yeah. I mean, Harbaugh's got to fix that, and they actually have the most cap space in the NFL this
Yeah, I
year. So
saw
I
that.
think they're gonna they're gonna fix it. I think they had to wait for some turnover. Pretty unfortunate because I think he is ultra talented, and what he's been able to do running for his life and getting beat on like a redhead stepchild is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
What?
I'm going to say this. This would be my pick, and my pick would be Cleveland Browns because you're going to walk into a division that has like a ton of change. You've got a great backfield. You've got the best defensive player in the NFL. They're losing games 14-3. Like it, and I think you saw the makings of a competent-ish offense with a ton of cap space, high draft pick again. Man, like I think you have an answer that's serviceable at quarterback. I won't say, but in that league, I think that's all you need because they play Baltimore close, even without quarterback. You've got some decent weapons on the edge on offense. I think they probably are one away. Fannin Jr. proved to be a really good pick. Getting Isaiah Bond, hopefully he can keep his head on straight, but like the best wide receivers typically can't. Can you just keep him contained long enough to make use of him before he loses it? And their running back room is incredible. Outside of Judkins, Samson kid's really good, and then Rocket Sanders is really good. So like you've got three really good young running backs that aren't going to have to pay. And so, I get that it's Cleveland. I get that it's tough. But I think if you're looking at where can I go win the fastest with the least amount of reshaping, I think it's Cleveland.
Cleveland's not a bad spot. I agree with everything you said.
Because like you go look at the Steelers, who's their quarterback? What's going on over there? The Ravens.
Yeah, but but with Cleveland, but with the Steelers, that you're going to have a major turnover, and you're going to have a lot of input on who you're getting. Okay,
Yep.
If they tell you, hey, next 2 years we're rebuilding, do your best. We're going to get you the key personnel you need. Go get your coaches and let's go. Cleveland, you got Deshaun Watson, you got Shadur Sanders, you got Dylan Gabriel. I understand the defense side of it, but Cleveland fans are going to want something sooner than what Steelers fans are going to accept. Because Steelers fans understand, we're in a rebuild. Okay, at least we have a new coach and we're rolling. Okay?
Yeah.
So I agree with you on the defensive side of Cleveland, but it's the offensive side. Yeah, Judkins, the other key players you mentioned, but the quarterback situation is still a problem. They either get rid of Watson, and don't you any of you say they're sending him to Pittsburgh, you bastards.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
And just go ahead and say Shadur is our quarterback. Brandon gets a jersey out of it. Okay? I will ship the Alpha Dog to Brandon for a fee of shipping and handling, $59.99. But anyways, I like a lot of your argument for Cleveland, but I still think Pittsburgh's. If you're going to take an AFC North team, I think Pittsburgh's the best opportunity because you're going to have job security for a bit, and they're going.
I think for security, absolutely. I think for
if
legacy,
you want to win now, yeah, Cleveland and Baltimore is your place to go because Pittsburgh is going to go ahead and accept the fact we're going to have a losing season, maybe 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Just like I'd be okay if they'd have fired Mike Norvell this year, and we got some, wet-haired kid, OC or DC come in. They give him a shot at Florida State, and I'd say, okay, hey, we went 2-10. Well, at least it was a new coach that's recruiting some players he's going to play instead of going in the portal every year. I'm good with
Yeah.
that. I'm that fan going, okay, it is what it is. Oh, the roof got blew off the house. We got to sleep under a tarp for a little bit. That's fine.
All
It
right,
keeps me dry.
let's
You know,
let's travel back in time for Neil and Corey. This is probably gonna be a little ways for y'all. Travel back to when you were 16, right? And I know not everybody gets this perfect dream, right? But I'm gonna give the perfect dream scenario at 16. Your parents buy you this awesome car, right? Let's say it's a sports car. It's the baddest car on the planet for today. Your parents hand you the parents sit it in the driveway, but you can't drive it till Christmas. You got 11 months before you can touch that thing, or you can drive that thing today and win now. Why would you not want to go to an organization that's ready to win?
yeah, it's not Cleveland or Pittsburgh.
No,
Baltimore.
that's why I
Baltimore's
think
gonna
the
be on that
Giants
list.
is a perfect landing spot, or even
Yeah.
Miami.
Mm,
Miami's not. Miami's a dumpster
Hold on,
fire.
They're
yeah,
about to get a new
Miami's
GM.
still. All right, hold on. You still got Drake May and you got Josh Allen sitting up there. Come on, no.
Yeah.
Baltimore is your best landing spot in the FC North. The
If you
Giants,
want to win that.
the Giants, but yeah, the Giants because you got the Cowboys, you got the Eagles that are declining, you got the Commanders that I don't know what the Commanders are doing. Okay, so the Giants, yeah, I can see that being sexy, Brandon. I do.
I think the
How do y'all not
Giants
say
are
Miami
intriguing
is sexy?
because their defensive line is incredible. They've drafted well in the trenches on the defensive side of the ball. But I still go with Cleveland. I think if you want legacy and you want to do something that hadn't been done before, name Shador your guy, build around your defense, move on.
I'm with you on the legacy part because it's not been done in Cleveland. It's been done in New York. Tom Coughlin.
Like, right, what you take the Miami job and they're like, well, you didn't go in undefeated, so you're the second best even year ever, even though you won the Super Bowl, right? Like, and I think that place is a
I
wreck.
don't understand how you don't think Miami's sexy. That's a sexy job.
But it's not a
Nah,
win now job. It's not a
you've got
win now job.
You're about to have a
you've got
GM.
$250 million tied up in a guy who's one hit away from being done.
I got yours behind him. I have the quarterback of the future. I don't like you.
Why are you wait? You're putting Tua back in?
Huh? I'm not. I said yours.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you have a problem because there's so much money tied up there, and in Waddle, and I don't know if they
Kareem
can
Hunt,
resign Achin.
not Kareem Hunt.
Achin.
No,
HN might go, but I have Ollie Gordon.
he's the wide
My
receiver.
Tyreek
backup's
Hill.
gonna be nice.
Tyreek Hill.
Tariq Hill.
Now Tyreek Hill's probably not coming back. But here's the thing: I have enough weapons over there on receivers.
Still on the payroll though.
That's fine. He's gonna come back eventually. He's still
You
gonna
can't
be.
ignore the IR. I mean,
No,
Brandon goes, they're on the IR. We don't have to pay them.
no, I'm not tripping on the IR.
Miami.
You had to pay him. I'm not,
Negative $17 million.
Yeah.
I think they have the players to win now.
Uh,
They were one coach
No.
away from winning.
no, that defense is not up
No.
to stuff yet.
All right, the defense is a
No.
little old. Minka, Chubb had a good year, and that defense turned it on at
Well,
the end.
Miami's in the same boat as Pittsburgh right now. They are. Y'all,
Pittsburgh's in a little better shape.
y'all might have a better quarterback situation than Pittsburgh, but the defense and the offensive line, yeah.
Dude, it's a fresh start, and you want to talk about legacy. And
We
you're on
gotta
South
get
Beach?
we gotta get rid we have to get rid of TJ Watt. We have to get rid of him.
Send him to Chicago.
Nah.
You gonna eat his
Dallas.
contract? You gonna eat that money?
I'll eat his contract and give you our first
That's
round.
fine. Hey, that's a deal, man.
Go to Dallas.
You want DJ Moore too? Whatever we gotta do to get it done.
I'm telling you, we gotta get rid of TJ Watt. He is unaliving our defense because all of our money's tied up in one man.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but you're still top 10 in cap space available, so they've done a good job.
Well, they didn't spend it this year. They sure as hell didn't make moves at the trade deadline.
Hey, is Hayward done? You think
You know,
Hayward's got
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
one?
thinking he might be. I'm thinking he might be.
I think he's got 1 or 2 more years. He said he wanted to play one more year.
Yeah, but look. If he sees a rebuild coming, he's not going to want to be there for that shit.
He
He'll, e-
almost hung him up last year.
he'll either want to go play one more year with somebody, maybe for a try to for a ring, or he may just say, you know what, I'm going to retire a Steeler. I'm good. I'm set.
Here's the one that none of us talked about that I think is really intriguing because they've played better, and that's the Tennessee job. Sitting there with 102 million in cap space, you're getting a brand new stadium.
That owner is batshit crazy.
Correct.
She is awful.
Correct.
She's an awful. She's worse than Marge Shot.
Yeah.
That's funny that you say that, Coach Bacon, because I honest to God think the Tennessee job is the worst job available.
See, I don't. I think the Arizona job's the worst job. You want to talk about a tough quarterback decision? You don't have a guy. You've got Kyler Murray,
Go
who they
draft one.
basically like.
You go draft one. Go draft your
You know,
quarterback.
Actually, I
Use-
have a
use-
trade.
Hold on, we got to do the music. Do, 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 do. Go ahead, Brandon.
Dale, what's your take? Kyler Murray for Tua.
The dry air will help him heal from those falls better.
Yeah, the dry air will help his concussions. It'll dry his brain
Dude,
up.
hey, you want to know what the most Browns trade ever would be, though? Shador for Kyler.
Oh
And
my
they-
God!
Yeah, have him
Hey,
and
and then
Watson.
Hey, can we,
have $500 million of QB on their
can we
roster.
check what Bacon's dipping?
Oh yeah.
Can we get somebody over
No,
there?
I mean, I get that Tennessee's got but you look at where they're positioned, and the Ward played better at the end of the year. Like, I mean, you look at their division, like, I don't know how sustainable the Texans are, right? Time will tell.
Yeah,
Time will tell.
They're pretty.
but Brandon.
The Jags, like they're really competitive there, and I think they're a really attractive market for a free agent because Tennessee's like no state income tax.
That's
like,
true. I live here.
You
I
know,
live there.
in the new stadium, and it's Nashville, and
So
like I don't understand why they let King Henry ever walk. Like
yeah,
he should have
well,
stayed there.
that's the owner. That's the owner and those GMs they had. But Brandon, I'm going to give you back to props because I brought this up a few weeks ago when Shadur faced off the 5th round draft pick, faced off against the #1 overall draft pick. Shadur Sanders beat him in stats. Didn't win the game, but Shadur Sanders was a better quarterback that day.
Right.
And you know Zach that hangs out in our lives, beef jerky, he couldn't stand it when I was sitting there saying the 5th round draft pick outperformed your #1 overall draft pick. And he's like, well, we're this and that. I said, no. Both offenses are about in the same boat.
Right.
Line, receivers, you go down the list. It's about even. Yeah, granted, he was playing against that Cleveland defense. I will put that in the consideration. But Shadur Sanders outplayed him.
But and Cam did some Houdini stuff in that game that you can't count on. There's only like one, maybe two guys ever who could pull that over and over again.
Yeah.
And one of them's in Kansas City, and the other one is probably not playing anymore. Not probably. He's definitely not playing anymore. John Elway got away with that stuff all the time, running around for his life and hucking it down the field. But I find that Tennessee situation to be very intriguing, right? Like the Miami situation is intriguing because at some point, like players do think about the money. And like if you're sitting there telling me would I rather get drafted by Tennessee or the Jets, I'll say Tennessee every day of the week because I know that's more money in my pocket.
Right.
And so I feel like they're going to be in a better situation in a couple years if they give you the now Matt Nagy's the guy who's kind of been keyed on for that one, and that'll be a really interesting thing to see because that'll be the second time he's taken a job and inherited a quarterback. And that's a tough thing. What Ben Johnson's done with Caleb Williams is like counter what most people do when they inherit a quarterback.
No, Ben
It
Johnson's a good
normally
coach. He's
doesn't go
done an
well.
unbelievable job. He's done an unbelievable job.
Yeah. And he's going to prove to be the best number one overall pick of all time. Bookmark that right here at whatever minute we are.
Oh
I
my.
said it.
Coach, wake up! You're still dreaming.
And I'm not. I listen. If you remember early, I was calling for Tyson Bagent earlier this year
Yeah.
at the beginning of it. But and you can go on my Twitter and look. Like at week 2, after we go 0-2, I'm like, dude, let's put Tyson Bagent in there. But I just think that Tennessee job is very intriguing. It's more intriguing to me than Arizona or Miami.
We're gonna have to disagree. We're gonna have to disagree. Or we're gonna have to agree to disagree on the Miami thing. I don't understand how a fresh that is a clean slate, and all the players go down there to practice. I've got my eyes on everything down there.
Yep. No. But oh
And as
man,
far
it'll
as the
be
taxes go,
interesting.
it's the same. It's the same as Tennessee. No state
Yeah,
tax.
Florida's the same. Yep. I mean, 6%'s a lot. Or I mean, that's what it would be for me. Because that's what Arkansas is. I mean, you look at some of these places like Cliff Kingsbury. If he wants to go take one of those jobs, like he's in DC, like he's going to gain like 30% on his paycheck.
Yep.
Yeah. Now is he going to take an OC
So-
job though?
I don't know. I don't know what he'll do.
It would
I don't
be
think he knows
interesting to
what he's
get him
gonna
with
do.
the offensive mind like Kellen Moore, somebody that he can learn from.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how these things shake out, and then you got John Gruden just lurking back in the wings, ready to take any job for $7.
Not good.
Bring
Not
back
an
Chucky
idea.
from Barstool. That's what we would do in baseball. Baseball, we hire old guys all the time. So
Hey, Coach Fergie's still doing it, and he's down there in Texas. He's with the Rangers organization. He's still coaching.
it's like South Carolina 2 years ago hired Paul Maneri to be the head coach for baseball, and Paul Maneri's been retired for years. He's just like, yeah, I'll do it. Sure, I'm bored.
I still want to see Javi Lopez. I still want to see him manage a team.
Javi.
Huh?
That's a name I have not heard in a long time.
Man, he was one of the best framing catchers I've ever seen. He was awesome at framing a pitch, and
He was incredible.
he's so smart, so smart, so savvy. I think he'd be a really good manager. I mean, look, Joe Garagiola made a great manager. There's been a lot of catchers who make great managers.
We put a bow on this because are we trying to get to the national championship game today, Brandon, or
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I do want to talk about it, and that's the last thing we're going to talk about. Well,
Yeah, I mean, to put it kind of a little bit of ending here is that to go back, I just don't know if there's that many outside of Harbaugh. It's how many slam dunks are out there. And I think that's the interesting part of this cycle.
I think
Like,
you got to consider Cincinnati for an NFL job. I think Mike McCarthy's still on the market. I think that's a great pick. If I was the Giants, I would do it today. Kevin Stefanski, I do not believe in. I do not think he's a good coach, but I know somebody's going to give him a job and waste.
I mean, but what about? There's all these rumors that Jason Day is interested in it too.
You mean
Jason
Ryan Day?
Tate, that may not be a bad choice. I would
Ryan
like to
Day?
see it.
Isn't it Ryan Day, not
yeah,
Jason
Ryan
Day?
Day.
Ryan
Jason
Day.
Day.
Ryan Day, Jason Day.
Let's go play some golf, Coach.
yeah. Tee it up, Ryan Day. I mean, and so yeah, it's just it's a weird market. Last year, you had a lot of options that were these up and comers, And so it's just going to be an interesting cycle. And I'm glad that the Bears are not in it.
Right. I mean, you got the Shula kid, you got Brian Flores. There's a lot of guys that you can still look at that are still top kid.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
most of the names you're going to throw out there have done it and it didn't go well.
Yeah, Shula's the first one. Although he's one of them that he's not tried. That you've not tried him. But yeah, you're right. Brian Flores, Kingsbury's out there.
Sala.
Sala.
Saul's with the
I think
Jets.
Sala. I think Sala may be one of these coaches. Here's something weird. Does Sala go to Cleveland? I could see Sala in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Wherever
It's an
he
upgrade
Yeah.
from New York. It's an upgrade from New York.
and wherever
Yeah.
he goes,
And
he's got to have the right coordinator,
Def-
offensive coordinator.
I think
defensively, he'll have that group better.
Sala won't take a risk like that again. I think the Jets about ruined him. I think he'll be
No
smart
way.
with the next coaching job he takes.
No, I think this year under Shanahan has worked wonders for him, and he's proven that he can work with another head coach and not let his ego get in his way. And it's kind of like Sala almost reminds me of a Lane Kiffin to Saban, move, where Kiffin worked under Saban and then, ventured back out and had success. Sala had a head coaching job in the worst place possible, got kicked out, which, if you want to call it anything, call it a draw. It was half his fault, half their fault. Okay, I'll go with that. But what he's doing out there with Shanahan, with all the injuries they've had this year, I think they've done a hell of a job. And I think the man.
They have.
And Brandon, I said this earlier this year. Me and you argued about it. I said I think he should get another opportunity to coach. I liked him. I like Sala. I like coaches for some teams. I do. The guy that got up there in New York now, and I sold on him. I don't know about him. The Jets coach.
Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, I'm not wild about him.
I mean, the heart again. Like I feel you kind of feel for him because he wanted a head coach and he took a job that was offered, right?
Yep.
And that's
I think
what you got to do.
Sala did too. I think Sala did too.
Yeah.
I think he saw that was his only opportunity. But I think with what he's done with San Francisco, I think that other teams are going to look at that and go, okay, we'll take a flyer on him.
Now I'll say this: there's one job that isn't open that I'm very surprised, and that's Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Right.
I said the same thing. And my son is like, no, Todd Bowles is going to do it. He's going to get it. I said, they fired everybody but Todd Bowles. Why didn't you just go ahead and fire them all? And, my son's like, no,
Yeah,
I like Todd Bowles. I'm like, I don't care if you like him. I said, I like Mike Norvell, but I want his ass on the street.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and they had a ton of injuries down there. And Baker's playing with a torn labrum. Like, there's a lot.
But their offense was putting up enough points, but their defense was just giving it up. And
they
Todd
were
Bowles is the defensive guy. So I'm sitting there going, if you want to blame somebody, blame the main guy running the defense.
Right.
Yep. No, and Tampa Bay, like it'll be interesting. They're kind of in the middle in cap space, and they're going to end up getting a decent pick because they didn't make the playoffs. My assumption is that they'll spend it on defense because the offense, even like it's crazy. Bucky Irving's out, Mike Evans is out, the McMillan kid was out, Mbuka's banged up, Godwin was. Finally came to life there the last couple
Yeah,
of
they
weeks.
need to get rid of Godwin, and they have that other kid that stepped up, but he got banged up. That other receiver,
McMillan?
Tej
No.
Johnson.
Oh, Tej Johnson.
Johnson. Look, I think their offenses can be okay.
Right.
They might want to look at a tackle or a guard, but other than
Yes.
that, the defense is what they need to work on. And I think if Todd Bowles gets that fixed, then I think they might be all right. But it also depends on who he gets as coordinators. But
Yeah.
I told my son, I said, if he has another season like this, he is gone.
Now, and what's crazy is like we watch the Bucks a lot in our house because Baker Mayfield is probably one of my top 3 favorite college players ever, and I love Baker. I love the confidence, just kind of the swagginess, but like the grit, right? Like he might be the only quarterback in the NFL right now that's a starter that walked on. I can't confirm or deny that, but he leaves Texas Tech and walks on at Oklahoma and just says, "This is where I'm going to be. Let's do it," and did it. Now it helps when you got CD Lamb and Shepard and some of the guys around him,
Yeah.
but I mean, and Lincoln Riley blew a playoff game against Georgia, not just saying we're just going to hand the ball off and run the clock. Anyways, you know, I just think they've got one of the toughest guys back there, and I think everybody in that locker room respects the heck out of him. You don't hear a bad word out of about Baker from anywhere he's been. I mean, just the true toughness of him being able to go from Carolina to LA and win a game on 4 days of knowing the playbook or whatever it was. Yeah. So they should be in a position to win that division 2 out of the next 4 years. Should be.
If they get the defense fixed.
Because their wide receivers, Mike Evans is old, but then they did a great job of getting young guys behind him.
Yeah. If their receivers can stay healthy and their running backs, and like I said, maybe get a guard or a tackle, maybe upgrade those guys. But the defense is the big problem. I believe that 2 out of 4 years possible. But you got the Saints on the rise with what Kellen Moore was doing, and Carolina. If Bryce Young figures it out and stays healthy, that defense was really good for Carolina.
And that leaves the Atlanta.
Yeah,
that leaves the Atlanta job looking bad.
Yeah, but maybe Atlanta finally gets another coach like Reeves or somebody that was decent for them. That's really the last coach I remember that was worth anything for Atlanta. I know Quinn was there when they went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, but they lost that one in epic fashion, and then they just nosedived. They were cooked, and they've been a shit show ever since. Pardon my language, but
that was the job. Honestly, I was surprised nobody mentioned Bijan. My only issue with them is the quarterback, but you got Bijan Robinson, you got Kyle Pitts, you got a decent defense.
Yeah, Drake London. I mean, they've got it's the NFL. Every roster you look at, you're going to be able to pinpoint those guys, right? You're going to be able to pinpoint playmakers, right? Even the worst teams in the NFL, even like the Raiders. I mean, they have a top 5 tight end,
right?
And so that it is so much, all right. Like what you're saying is like that guy in charge, right? The Bears roster really didn't. I mean, they changed the offensive line, but the defense is worse. And Ben Johnson's gone out and rallied the troops.
Well, Caleb Williams grew up in front of us this year. He did. I mean, we were torching him after that Vikings game, first of the year. We were just bad-mouthing him. And then I went off on this crazy weekend where Dallas was going to Chicago, and I said, Caleb Williams is going to throw 5 touchdowns, and damn it if he didn't throw 4, and they never looked back. And I'm like, holy shit, this kid's balling out. The Bears kept winning. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? They were my last place pick, coach. I'm telling you, they were. I mean, based on what you watched last year, and I just didn't expect anything this year. I mean, the Lions fell down. The Vikings, sat in the back seat, never got in the front and tried to drive again. I mean, and then the Packers, were kind of the league leader there for a while. So, I mean, damn.
How about we hadn't talked about, but that 4th down, that 4th and 9 throw to Roma Dunze was unbelievable.
Yep. Great throw.
Well, I think you came in during. Did you come in during that game, or which game was it? You popped in a few times.
I popped in during the end of the Carolina Rams game because I was making all the Blue Chew.
Oh, you were out of the damn mind, man. When Brandon reappeared, we told Brandon, I'm like, you told us to watch our language around Coach, man. He was wild the other day. I was like, hide your face. Hide your face.
I didn't swear, though. Yeah. I didn't swear.
Oh.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear nothing.
Oh, Corey. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I was unhinged.
I won't
I was
clip.
giving.
I won't
I was
clip
all over
anything. I
Rob.
will not clip anything from that live.
I came in that live, and everybody was bragging about it. They was like, "Oh my god, you won't believe what happened! You missed a great
Coach
one."
was out of control.
I always sleep through the good stuff.
Oh, it was funny. It was. You had me laughing. I was like, "Oh wow, this is a different coach. This must be dugout coach."
Yeah, I mean, I was juiced. I was
Yeah,
ready. I
yeah.
was ready for the Bears game. I was
Well,
excited,
yeah,
and
good for you too, man. Because being a Bears fan, I couldn't imagine. Just
I
it's
wouldn't
been a
want
and
to
I'll say
imagine.
this: I switched my whole attire at halftime. I I had like a short like a long sleeve like the long sleeve hoodie thing on or whatever.
you were burning
Like
up.
no, and I was just like, we got to change it up. So we went and I went and put my Buckish, my Ditka jersey on, and man, the tables really turned. As soon as we brought back the legend of Ditka into the house, and it, yeah.
Do you really buy
But
into that? Do you really buy into that?
I'm a baseball guy.
Of
Do
course,
you
he
really
buys
buy
into
into
that.
that though?
I'm a baseball
That's all
guy.
you got to say. He buys into it. Baseball guy.
I'm just gonna.
I get it.
Hey, okay, I'll tell this
I get it.
story. We were it was 2016. We were playing on the road at McMurray down in Abilene. No, it was Hardin Simmons. We were at Hardin Simmons in Abilene. We were down 12 runs in the seventh,
Wow.
and we had to score. We had to score three times to continue the game in the seventh, whatever. We did that, and then so we're down 9 in the ninth, and for the whole ninth inning, I'm coaching first base, and at every pitch, you got the coach's box there. For at every pitch, I would step my right foot on the line of the coach's box. We come back and take a lead. We scored 12 runs in the top of the ninth, and I did that. I sat there and did that same routine for an hour and 20 minutes while we hit, and that whole half inning was going on. And so, yeah, I guess I am that guy.
Okay,
You
that's
energy's a
fair.
real thing.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm not the guy that doesn't wash his socks, but I do get all that the superstition.
I mean, when we play at home, I have the same routine,
Okay.
but like down to the minute.
Yeah,
And if it doesn't go right, like I feel like the whole day's off,
right.
and I feel like we're gonna lose. Like, yeah, so I guess I am that guy. I guess I am.
He has to. He roots for Chicago teams.
Man, that pregame walk is important. I put my headphones in, I walk the field. That pregame walk is important. Like it's important to get in there on the. I I understand everything you're saying. I get it.
Yeah. So
And if it's a
no,
baseball,
but that fourth down throw, I don't know if you guys remember another throw that was like that.
No, it was it
That
was
could
a, it was a catch. It was a hell of a catch.
yeah, it was.
I
you
mean,
know,
it was ballsy, but it worked out.
and I mean, I think the beauty of Ben Johnson came out when they took the touchdown. They took the lead in when they faked the wide receiver screen and just sneaked DJ up the sideline. They haven't ran that all year. They've ran nothing like that all year. And DJ's wide open, and boom, here you are.
That was a good pump fake. I mean, Caleb Williams sold it. The receivers sold it. I mean, that was a hell of a job, hell of a scheme, hell of an execution. I mean, he couldn't have walked out and handed that ball off and do him any better.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was beautiful. All right, looking at this national championship, Corey, you're you, man, taking on Indiana, and I'm just gonna let y'all know right now, since y'all busted up my bracket, I'm gonna ride with y'all. Y'all better bust my bracket up some more. I have Indiana winning the national title on the
I have
ESPN
Indiana
thing,
winning.
but I'm rocking with the U.
No, I'm not. I got Indiana winning.
Dio, I will never. If you would have went with the U, I would have probably disconnected you right then.
That's fine. But
Because
I
you're a
wasn't.
Florida State fan, you shouldn't be rooting
Yep.
for Miami.
No, and you know The only time I will pull for your team is if they're playing Notre Dame.
Yep.
That is the only time you will ever hear me say, I got to go with a U. But no, Indiana. I'm not pulling for Indiana because they're playing Miami. I strongly feel that Indiana is the best college football team in this nation, and I believe it doesn't matter who they were playing Monday night, even if it was Ole Miss. I still would say Indiana was going to win. I just after that Big Ten championship game, I felt Indiana was going to win the whole thing.
I
And that's
think
just that was my football mind and what I've watched and what I've seen, and I was just kind of like, I mean, the way they played Alabama and they made them pay for every mistake Alabama made, and then they made Oregon, pay for every mistake Oregon made. That's a complete team. That's a defense that is right there, going, always moving towards the ball, and those opportunities present themselves. But then you got to worry. Then you got to say, okay, offense, we got the ball for you. What are you going to do with it? And their offense put points on the board, and they made Oregon pay that entire game. I mean, I can't say anything else about that team. They operate on all levels at all positions. They look good. They're stroking right now. They are.
you know I go back to Ohio State, Miami for the national title years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Going into that game, Ohio State had no that if you heard anybody, they had no chance. Miami had the most dominant team,
Yep.
offense, defense, special teams, everything. And lo and behold, did Ohio State come back and win? Now,
Yep.
Miami, though, this year has to play a perfect game, like they did against Ole Miss. One penalty that whole game. They no dropped interceptions like they did last game. The penalties. If they can play a penalty free, and mistake free game, I'm not saying they win, but I'm saying it
Yep.
stays close. Now, if they start having turnovers,
Yep.
we're gonna be in trouble.
Well, eh, yeah. Go ahead. Finish up, Corey, because I'm just gonna
No,
wrap
no,
it
no.
up with
That's
you.
all I was gonna say. We're gonna be in
Yeah.
trouble if we
So
don't get it.
yeah. So here's the thing. Miami, all three games, it's come down close. I mean, it's still been a ball game at the end where had y'all made a mistake, it could have changed the game. Okay, I get it. I understand it. Your running game worked. Took a lot of pressure off Carson Beck. Carson Beck only had to make a few passes when it counted, and he didn't make a mistake. Okay, but here's the thing: the past two games, Indiana has just blown the doors off their two opponents. They, like I said, they are stroking.
Yep.
They are in that mindset. Signetti is not going to take his foot off the gas. He wants this national championship bad. I know Miami does too, but Miami has been in a lot closer contested games than Indiana has the past two games. And I strongly feel that if Indiana shuts down your running back and they put it on Carson Beck's arm, Sid the Sloth is going to cost you the national championship.
I could see that. My thing is I say if that game's within three, Miami's chances of winning go from
No,
very rarely.
I will not. I will not argue with that.
Only because my Indiana has not been in any really close games this year.
13-10 over Ohio State.
Yeah, that's the only one they've been
They
in.
barely. Hey, they didn't blow out Oregon the first time they played them. Either.
Yeah, but
Up at Oregon.
I'd like to. I want to see what happens there. But like I said, we have to play perfect for it to happen. So
I do
I'm just
believe,
shocked you guys are where you're at. But go ahead, Brandon. I'm done with that. So yeah, good.
I,
I'm good.
I do believe in the Madden curse. Not the Madden curse. I'm sorry, the Heisman curse. The other curse. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. The Heisman winner goes into the big bowl game and just underperforms. And I don't put it past Mendoza to not show up.
I've been against Team Signetti for some time, just because whatever reason, I don't know, not even sure. I just didn't buy it. What they did to Oregon was so impressive. So impressive. And I I think what you're going to see here in this game, the first 20 minutes are going to matter. If the first 20 minutes Miami can find a way to control some possession and get a score or two on the board, no matter what Indiana's done, you're going to have a close game. If Indiana wins the first 20 minutes, it's going to be a snoozer all the way home, and Indiana will win by multiple scores.
I,
And
I
so,
could see that.
what does Cristobal do to control the first third? And I think that's going to be the key because that's like honestly where it derailed for Oregon. You know, you look at the first third, it's 21-7, right? And so and if you go look at all their games, Indiana comes out of the gate so ready to compete relentlessly. That's their secret sauce. They're a good football team. They're disciplined. They they do what they're supposed to do. But their first 20, they beat people in the first 20 and then make everybody play from a position of um, urgency,
Yep,
and
panic.
then they just take advantage of that urgency.
Yep.
And they're so good at it. And so, I mean, with that, like, I think Indiana's going to end up winning this game, and I think it's going to be a really cool story in college athletics. And I think the other piece of this, like we've talked about NIL and stuff on here a ton. The other piece of this that you're seeing is like while the SEC is the most talented conference, top to bottom in football, you're seeing that some of these older schools and different places have people that'll support them. And that draw of the SEC that was like so prevalent, like it holds power still, but it may not hold the same power moving forward.
I don't know. I've not watched Indiana enough, but it just Miami just feels like unreal this year. Like they've had their back up against the wall like this whole time, and I feel like Cincinnati should win. They're just gonna fall short.
Hey,
Miami was given a gift. Miami was given a gift, and they got in the playoffs when I felt strongly they shouldn't have. But they've been punching above their weight the past few games. Okay, Ole Miss was a good matchup for Miami. I'm just going to be honest about that. That was a good matchup for Miami. This Indiana matchup is not good for Miami. This game is going to show you. It's going to expose some things on Miami. You don't think they're watching the SMU and the Louisville game tapes?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm telling you, Signetti is going to be all over, that scale and the armor that's missing. I mean, he's gonna hit it.
I just the script, kind of like you said, the Buffalo script. The script just seems too unreal for Miami.
I know it does. And every time Miami won, I said, well, the playoff committee is going to sit there and rub it in our faces, going, see, we told you why they were in there. Because a lot of people were like, why the hell is Miami in the playoffs when they weren't even in the championship game at the ACC and a 5-loss Duke team won the ACC championship? I mean, that was the big argument, right? The only reason Miami got in was because they beat Notre Dame.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly that honestly, if that's the only game Miami won that year, they wouldn't be in the playoff. But I mean, really, just look at it. It's kind of what their ticket was. Oh, you beat Notre Dame, you're in. You beat Notre Dame, you're in. Because they left Notre Dame out. But look, I'm impressed what Cristobal's done. I'll give him respect. Don't get me wrong. I'll always respect the team for what they've done, even though I despise them passionately. I respect what they've done in this playoff run. It's been amazing, but I believe they're punching above their weight. Okay, and they're about to find out. They're about to hit the Mike Tyson, and they've been look, that Texas A&M game, it was a close nail biter. But they got the job done. But then, the next two, okay, oh, whoa, what Miami? What are you doing? You know, but Ole Miss was a great matchup for them. It was.
So Ohio State, Miami, or no, yeah, went way in Miami's favor.
Yep.
When Ohio State played Indiana, remember it was only a
Yep.
3-point game.
Yep. Rivalry. Well, I mean, you got to put it as a rivalry game because it's the Big Ten championship. But Ryan Day, Ryan Day, he's kind of like you got to look at what's his name in Oregon. He's been to two playoff games and he has been blown out. Dan Lanning. They're starting to chirp in Oregon, going that's two games now that he has been blown out.
Right.
Yeah, he may want to start looking come back this way. Because Oregon don't play around up there. They will change their coach like their underwear.
Right. Like they changed
But
jerseys.
The one
Yeah.
thing about this time about Miami this year too is I just read this, and with Miami being in the championship game, Indiana went and got their quarterback for next year. Miami hasn't, so they're going to have to.
well, they were trying to get that Oregon guy. I really do.
They're going to probably more likely end up going with Emory Williams, which I'm fine with. But I think this Miami team is like, wait a minute, we don't win, we ain't going to be back here next year. But
That's the only weakness you really have though is your quarterback. And I'm telling you, man, Carson Beck. I mean, look, if he has a mistake-free game, if he does not give the game away, I will put Miami in contention of that game.
I'm taking coach's statement from Oklahoma game earlier this year. In Carson Beck, we trust, just like he did in Michael Hawkins.
Yeah. Mm.
Michael Hawkins, the next West Virginia quarterback.
Yep,
Well,
I had to go there.
You got a real one though coming to you in Livingstone. That kid's gonna be really good. I'm telling you right now. But
we took the Auburn quarterback at Florida State. I'm just like,
Oh, you guys got Ashton
Arnold,
Daniels?
Which one?
yeah,
The Daniels kid?
yeah.
Oh, he's gonna be all right.
I wish Norvell and him the best after they leave next year. Coach? You weren't on there the other night. West Virginia had how many was it, Corey? 46 players that entered the portal.
Yep.
And Florida State had 38. They were second in the nation for exits of players, and they've only had like 5 come. Like I'm sitting there going, "You kept Norvell. That's what you're going to get." I mean, it's been a mass exodus.
That's crazy.
Yep.
his
Florida
leash is
State
about
was
to get
number
a
2
lot
on
shorter.
the transfer portal. What, Brandon?
His leash is about to get a lot shorter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
with
look,
his bench.
yeah, because like I said, he's only had like five commits, and they're from like the MAC. One of them's from Purdue. Oh my God, he must be really good. I mean, let's take that Purdue kid. He's going to fix everything. Seriously, I mean, and then you took the quarterback from Auburn. He saw the writing on the wall. He wasn't going to get a play. So what do? We go to the transfer portal and get him. And I'm still sitting here going, well, who have you recruited, Norvell? Who have you recruited to be a quarterback for the future? Oh, you're not going to do that. You're going to keep borrowing out of the transfer portal. We're Duke-a-Lele last year. Then we had, Tommy Casserole this year. Now I'm going to start calling him Daniel in the Lion's Den next year. I don't know. But, I mean, I'll figure out some name for him. I mean, Jack Daniels, because he's drunk. He plays drunk. That's what I'm going to call him, Jack Daniels. We got Jack Daniels at quarterback. I mean, it's so bad. I'm telling you, if he starts out 2-2 or he starts out 0, well, he's not going to get there playing peons early in the year. But once he starts running into ACC play and he starts losing, I'm done. I will retire my jersey for the following year when we have a new coach, and I'll accept every loss we get because at least we're rebuilding something.
Oh,
Not a
my
good look.
goodness.
No, my Steelers are coachless, and then my college team has a coach that I wish was coachless, and my Maple Leafs they're just
I
they're
mean,
a
with
mess over
Norvell,
here.
you might as well be coachless.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably be better off.
Yep.
But, all right, guys. Well, this episode has been brought to you by Heaven Sent Hellbait Gear. Go to hshbgear.com. 50% off promo code married. W Energy promo code married. 10% off. Styles Apparel and Dugout Mugs. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate.
Peace.
Chaos.
Boomer!